I love making strategies for all kinds of things I do, and credit cards are definitely no exception. So in this video, I'm going to share with you guys my 2025 credit card strategy. It's going to be super simple, super easy, and honestly, I think you can get some good value here. So I don't know if you're like me, but I'm the kind of guy that doesn't want to have too many cards, right? It's all about simplicity when it comes to credit cards for me. So with my super simple 11 card or so setup, I'm going to share with you my different kind of credit card ecosystems. I guess we'll go ahead and start with Chase because these are the cards that I use the most. They're the most powerful, honestly, in my opinion. I think most people get the most value from these cards. Let's break it down. So I got the Sapphire Reserve in my wallet. I know that's not the most simple Sapphire card that you could have. There's also the Sapphire Preferred, which I've had at one point. But I just get so much value from that Sapphire Reserve that I have to keep it. I love using the 1.5 cents per point redemption in the portal and the Lyft Pink all access benefits. Yes, I'm the kind of guy that likes to bike around New York City, and I do get that for free with City Bike membership through Lyft Pink. Now, this kind of benefits me a ton, and it's very niche, so I can understand why you would not want to have the Sapphire Reserve, and honestly, the Sapphire Preferred is just fine, but it's something to talk about. I also really like using that 1.5 cents per point in the portal. It's pretty convenient, and sometimes if I can't find that nice freaking 1.3 cents per point redemption through my Amex Delta, then I'm just going to have to go with Chase and get that 1.5 cents per point redemption with some random airline that I probably never fly on. It's a good catch-all redemption. I'm always going to get 1.5 cents per point no matter how hard I try. And I just think the card is really solid for that reason. Plus, I like to transfer to Hyatt, as all of you guys know. Hyatt is a king of Chase transfer partners. We all know that. You can get a lot of good cents per point, maybe like 1 to 2, maybe even 3 if you're lucky. I've been able to find like 2.2 cents per point, 1.8, and honestly, Hyatts are pretty chill. I actually like Chase so much, and I love their ecosystem so much to the fact that I actually use the 1.5% back Freedom Unlimited as my catch-all card. A lot of people don't really like this card because 1.5% is not that good. Honestly, I'd rather get 1.5% Chase points than like 2% Capital One points. I just find that there's much more use for these Chase points than Capital One, unless you're flying business class or something like that all the time. But for me, I'm a big domestic U.S. Airlines kind of guy, and I just love using the portal for that. So that 1.5 super fire, I get that 2.25% back if you effectively scale it. 1.5 times 1.5 is 2.25. That's basically the percent back that you're getting. If you're following what I'm saying, you're effectively earning a little bit more if you were to just use the Freedom Unlimited. So one of the Chase strategies I've used in the past to earn a frick ton of points is the Ink Train strategy. Now, I only have one Ink card, and I did get it at 90,000 point sign-up bonus. This is pretty good. So if you're considering earning a lot of Chase Ultimate Rewards points, I would consider using a Chase Ink card sign-up bonus as a way to generate those points. They're pretty easy to get, no annual fee. Yes, they're business cards. A lot of people are worried about that, but they don't really, verify your business authenticity. I would recommend if you're filing as a sole proprietor to make sure that you have some sort of business. Maybe you sell shoes, maybe you sell plants, maybe you sell wallets or something like that. For me, I run a YouTube business, and I honestly can just justify the card through that. So the Ink Train strategy is something that I plan on doing in 2025. I do plan on staying under 524 so I can cop one of those new Ink Fresh cards. Fresh Ink New cards, something like that. I want another 90K bonus. I'm probably going to get the Unlimited if that comes around because I already got the cash. I actually got the Unlimited originally, but I product changed it. So you could always just bounce back and forth, product changing them, and get the one that you don't have. Maybe I'll go ahead and file an LLC too, and then I can get 2 more, making that 4 freaking total Ink cards. Honestly, a pretty good strategy if you want to replenish the Ultimate Rewards points. I think that's a good one to go with. Another card I'm potentially thinking about getting in 2025 is a Freedom Flex. I've had it in the past. I don't use it that much. I do want 5% back on PayPal, but honestly, it's just not a good card that much in my opinion, unless you're using the rotating categories, but I don't really use a lot of them. Moving on from Chase, I have an Amex strategy as well, and I actually love Amex a lot. I think they're the biggest of the daddiest credit cards out there. You can't go wrong getting a Platinum unless you live in the middle of Ohio and you never go to the airport. But for me, I live right next to 2 Centurion lounges, so I can make so much work of those and eat as much food as I can. Every time I go to the airport to visit my family in Seattle or maybe go business class on Emirates, I'm always able to get into that Centurion lounge. And it really is the lounges when it comes to Amex. I have the Platinum for that reason. I do use a lot of the credits like Saks Fifth Ave. I know it's a little frustrating. Go ahead and use these credits, but if you want to make work of them, you can. Plus, I think the referral program on Amex is a little bit better than Chase, and it's a lot easier to help people out and get some referral points through that. Platinum also comes with a freaking hefty 175k sign-up bonus currently at the recording of this video, which is honestly insane. I got the 150k bonus, which I think is already insane enough, but if you want to even get something more, you can get the 175k offer. That's literally 175,000 membership rewards points, which is like absolutely insane. So that's pretty good if you want to get a lot of points. After you get the sign-up bonus, you're going to have to go through those credits. Like I said, a lot of them are really frustrating to use, but $695 annual fee can be, taken down a lot from these credits. As for my other Amex cards, I do have the gold as well. This card has been under some freaking controversy lately for raising the annual fee and adding some Dunkin' Donut benefits, something like that. Yeah, it's a frustrating time to be an Amex customer, especially because they're just raising all the annual fees and adding more credits. I understand credits are very frustrating, but if you want to make work of the Amex cards, you're just gonna have to get used to the credits. So I keep the Amex Gold around. I got that 90k bonus originally, and I do plan on keeping it, as well as the Platinum. They just generate too much value for me to justify getting rid of. I really like Amex's ecosystem, especially for transferring out to Delta. I love getting that 1.3 cents per point, which I'll show you in a little bit on how I do that, but it's a really good value. So like I said, I'm a Delta fanboy. I also have the Delta Business Gold card. It's a pretty solid card if you want to redeem in the Delta portal, which I think is the best way to redeem if you live at 2 Delta hubs. And I don't have 2 houses. I just have a family I go visit every once in a while, and I do like to fly. So I'll fly between 2 Delta hubs and make light work of that 1.3 cents per point redemption pretty easy with my Amex points transfer to Delta. And I'm able to do this with the Delta Business Gold card. It's a $150 annual fee card, but they give you 15% off in every redemption you do, and that's a 1.5, not a 5.0, so 15% off on all your redemptions, making it really easy to get an average of 1.3 cents per point. So 1.3 cents per point might not look like the best cents per point, but when you're talking domestic and you're talking Delta, I personally think it's really valuable. Delta's customer service is freaking good, and I like that. And you might be like, why wouldn't you go with the 1.5 cents per point Chase portal redemption? And you might be right? I used to do that. I don't anymore. I'd rather go with the 1.3 cents per point redemption in the Delta portal to use my Amex points up, especially because I have a lot more Amex points. But I also just think it's easier to go through the airline directly instead of booking through a third-party portal, especially if you need to make changes or you have some customer service issues. I just don't think saving that extra 0.2 cents per point to go through the portal is worth it. So I'm not trying to turn this into a what's in my wallet, but I'm going to pull the VentureX now and show you because this card is definitely really worth getting. Listen, I'm not the kind of guy that wants to go get more credit cards when you already have all the best. So I guess my strategy in 2025 is just nurturing all the systems and operations that I have when it comes to using these different point issuers, learning how to redeem my points, and maybe finding, new ways to generate points. But for the most part, like I said, I keep all of these pretty much on hand, slinging, ready to operate whenever I need. And one of these cards I keep on me is that VentureX. I use this as my girlfriend card. Yeah, my girlfriend's an authorized user. She got that nice global access priority pass situation set up, so she's able to get into the United States quick with me whenever we do that, as well as she has TSA pre-check. The best part about the VentureX is that 2x back, and I did say earlier that I don't prefer to use this because I like getting that extra 1.5 cents per point with Chase's 1.5x back card. It's kind of a better operation that way. You get 2.25% compared to the 2% back on the VentureX if you value them at 1 cent per point with Capital One, which if you know, they have transfer partners and you can get more than 1.5 cents per point. And I do this sometimes. I go ahead and transfer to Turkish Airlines. Well, I used to, and then they raise their annoying. I originally got the VentureX as a nice entry-level premium travel card, but now that I have all these other cards that are premium and they overlap, it makes not that much sense to keep this card, although it is okay, and I'm able to make work of that $395 annual fee pretty well. I know there's that $300 travel credit that you got to go ahead and use in the portal, and like I said, not a huge fan of portals, but if I got to go ahead and make work of this credit just to keep it and give my girlfriend that TSA pre-check, it might be worth it to keep. Plus, not only that, I'm able to generate 2x back really easily. Like I said, we use this card as my grocery card. I know it's not the best and not the optimal situation, but I'm able to generate, 70,000 points per year. That's just what it shows on my Capital One account right now. And like I said, that no authorized user fee is pretty clutch if you want to split this card with somebody else and then just pay it down together. It's really easy. But to be frank with you, I don't really use my points that much. I used to use them with Turkish Airlines Miles and Smiles when they had that epic 7,500 mile Saver Award United flight redemption, but now that's kind of more rare, and also they've raised it to 10,000 miles, which is really annoying. So I'm not able to get anything better than 1.5 cents per point when I'm checking around in the Turkish Airlines Miles and Smiles ecosystem. Definitely a little frustrating, although you can transfer your points to Air Canada Aeroplan, which I think is pretty valuable, so I'll do that every once in a while and then book there. Looking at my wallet, I'm probably not going to add any Capital One cards for my strategy in 2025. Their ecosystem is pretty good, and if you want to go ahead and get the Saver One to complement that Capital One Venture X and make it a duo, that's a pretty good setup. But honestly, I already have the other two Amex and Chase setups going right now, and they're working it pretty good for me. So I just don't think I need to, get my Capital One setup fully built out. One thing I am going to build out is my built card, because this card is already just built like that. I love this card. It's pretty good, although the 5 transaction minimum per month that you need to make to get all the points that you're going to generate is kind of annoying. So I use this card as like my pizza card. Yeah, the Built MasterCard. It's a great card to have, guys. So I'm making light work of the Built MasterCard, getting 1x back on my rent of $2,600 a month. I know that's quite the amount of rent, but now that I'm getting that 1%, it's honestly pretty good. I've used the Built MasterCard a couple times to transfer to Hyatt, which I think is pretty clutch. And, I mean, Hyatt's king, right? The thing about the Built MasterCard that's kind of easy to use is that 3x back on dining. I like to use this as my pizza card, like I told you earlier. Just keep it on my Apple Pay. I never even see the card. I just slang that thing out of my Apple Wallet every time I get some ZA that's like $5. God, that's so bad, dude. So enough with the Zaza, dude. Honestly, I'm probably not going to get another Built or a Wells Fargo card. I mean, there's not really anything out there other than the Built card for the Built rewards system. That's the thing. Built's got their only card, and that's kind of their only thing in their ecosystem. As for Wells Fargo, I mean, it's Wells Fargo, and I don't really need to even touch them with a 10-foot pole. I know some people like Wells Fargo, but to me personally, their online UI is just so god-awful that I wouldn't even want to dabble in and out and see what's going on and have to log in and log back out to try to get my MFA working or any of that. So yeah, that's kind of my entire strategy. I don't really want to add too many cards in 2025. I feel like I literally got all the good ones. Maybe there's a few that I could go out there and get, like some ink cards. Of course, those are good to replenish your Ultimate Awards points. But, for the most part, I think I'm pretty situated. I know the Lift Pink All Access is going to end on the Sapphire Reserve at some point, and I'm going to have to figure out a new way to cover up that annual fee. Maybe I'll have to downgrade and get that Sapphire Preferred again. And if I do that, then I'll probably have to consider getting the US Bank Altitude Reserve to make up for my 1.5 cents per point redemptions with the Sapphire Reserve. I know at some point that the US bar could come back. I think that's probably likely. So if it comes back, I'll consider getting it. But, for that, I'm going to have to lay low a little bit, not get too many cards, and just take it easy. So just like my setup, I hope you take it easy. I hope you have a good day. I'm going to go out and get some sun, just chill, relax, and enjoy my day. I hope you do too. See you later.